This is my Lexus RC 300H. So this is my first ever project car, and for the last year I've been stumbling around trying to figure out what's broken, how it all goes back together, making some mistakes, making some other mistakes, perhaps more expensive ones, and slowly putting it all back together so we can get it roadworthy again so I can use it. But the last episode I released was 6 months ago, where we got the car ready, we put all the panels on, and we were getting ready to ship it off to get painted. And I'm sure a lot of you are wondering where I've been gone in that time. And so in this episode we're going to be reviewing what actually happened. Is the car still there? Did it ever get fixed? So enjoy. Hello everybody, welcome back. Sorry it's been so long. I didn't expect it to take this long when I started this project, but you know, here we are, it is what it is. So in the last episode I had sent the car back over to the body shop. I had asked them to do the painting and the rear welding, and so that was early September, late August, and I gave it to them expecting it to be, you know, perhaps 1 or 2 months worth of work. So that was fine, I was happy with that. I had my IS 300 at the time as well, my white one, and I sold that in, I think it was middle of October, in kind of anticipation of getting my car back. And I was lucky enough to borrow one of my in-laws. My in-laws have 2 cars and they didn't need one for a period of time, so I was able to borrow that instead. And so everything was going smoothly. Unfortunately, in October, there was a major incident at the body shop, and the body shop is a small kind of local independent family run body shop that had good reviews. And there was a major incident that happened, and unfortunately someone got really injured. Now, I won't go into too much details, but basically work kind of had to slow down and stop on my car for a period of time. And then, so I sold my car, my IS 300, and then my RC was stuck being repaired. Now, every 2 weeks or so, I was asking for updates, like how's the car going? You know, is there anything you need, any issues, any help that you need, etc., etc. And I was getting varied amount of communication back, so it was a little bit frustrating for my part. But you know, then again, I completely sympathise. It's been a really tricky situation they've had to deal with. Someone getting really injured, and you know, I was trying to give them amount of time to kind of sort that out and deal with it, and to kind of be like pragmatic and everything else. So then came December, and I needed to give my car back to my in-laws. I was then lucky enough to manage to borrow a Ford Fiesta, which is just there, as like a backup car, and this was given to me by a friend, a colleague at work, so I was very appreciative of that. And I was expecting that to kind of finish maybe around January. I was getting reports that the car is being progressed, and maybe January it would be finishing. So yeah, so I was told it was going to be done around January. That didn't happen. I was then away for pretty much the whole of February. I was travelling, fortunate enough to go travelling for a month. Big trip that me and my wife had saved up for a long time to try and go on. So I kind of said, look, you know, well, when it comes back in March, I really need it back. You know, it's kind of, if not, then I'm going to have to come and take it back because I don't know what's happening. You're not giving me any information. So then got home from travelling, sent a few text messages, varying levels of response. So I then decided to do a few random trips. It's only, you know, 20 minutes away from where I live. Did a few trips out there. The first trip, no one was there, it was shut. The second trip I went, it was shut again, but I managed to see there was one of the people who used to work there was, you know, in one of the other commercial units. So I spoke to him. And basically what happened is, unfortunately, the person who had an incident in October, that person actually died in January, which was really tragic. And that person was a significant player in that business. Now, obviously everybody was grieving for the loss of this person, and I completely sympathise with that. It's a terrible, life-changing thing to happen, and it's, you know, very sad. It's a very sad thing to deal with, as you know, people there, friends, family. So I completely sympathise with that. So that was a big thing that was happening. But it also then turned out that the owners weren't paying the bills for the commercial unit. So the reason why it was shut was because the landlord had repossessed the unit, and he was basically changed all the locks, and unfortunately my car was stuck inside. So I then had to do a bit of a mission. I had to then go around and figure out who the landlord was. I managed to get his phone contact details. I was then able to arrange a pickup. So he was basically wanting to clear out everything in the unit and just get everything kind of, you know, taken apart, and so that he can rent it out again to someone else. And I managed to organise a pickup. I managed to get a flatbed. So unfortunately the MOT ran out in November, so I can't drive it anywhere. So I had to get a flatbed to come pick it up and drop it back to mine. And yeah, so it's been a roller coaster really. It's not done as per the agreed contract that we'd signed. And it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. You know, it's a car that I've put 3 months worth of effort into. It's my first project car that I've done, which I know, you know, there's a lot of other YouTubers that have done this very differently, and they've done, you know, Maseratis and Lamborghinis and Bugattis and McLarens and everything else, but this is the first one I've ever done, and I'm only, you know, putting my savings into trying to do this, so it means a huge amount to me. And having to deal with the stress of not knowing what's happening with it, whether it's been sold, or, you know, any number of thoughts that can crop into your head. And like I said, I completely sympathise with the situation. It's a terrible situation for all parties to be involved in. But yeah, so I managed to get the car back about 2 weeks ago now. Haven't really done anything to it. I've had to basically been waiting for parts to come, because there's a few things that are missing still, which I wasn't really made aware of. And so yeah, car's back. I'm going to try and do as much as I can today in order to get it. There's a few problems with it, but I'll walk around those as I go around the car. So yeah, that's a little bit of lowdown. It's a bit of a roller coaster of a ride. But yeah, hopefully only good news from now on. So then, this is the car in all its former glory. So it's now been painted, which is terrific. But however, it's varying levels of paint. Like some has been polished, some hasn't. I don't know if you can see this, but you've got like a little swirl mark there where some of it was polished, some of it's not polished, or hasn't had the final spray on, or it's just, you know, very dusty. Or so front bumper was completely painted. It was all blended into the panels. Then obviously the front bonnet, this brand new wing. That was done as well, and the door was blended and the roof was blended. And then come around the back. This is literally as I've received the car. I haven't done anything to it really. We have a whole new rear end on, so this has all been re-welded and pulled out. So now, you know, we've got all the connections are in place, everything's been re-welded, everything nice and flat. The reason why the boot's not shut is because got a drain on the battery at the moment. So if the battery goes, I have to climb in through the middle in order to release the boot, which is a pain. So I need to sort the battery issue out. But yeah, this has all been put on now, all been welded, and the crash bar fits really well. So that's a new crash bar that I got. Headlight is broken. I'll come on to that in a second. Oh yeah, boot lid, that's all been done as well. So, you know, I can't fault them really. The work they've done has been really good. It was just the communication and the unknowing and everything else, and the stress that's made it a little bit painful. But the work they've done has been, you know, absolutely fine. It's been good work. And this is the rear bumper as well. It was waiting on parking sensors. I've got white parking sensors. I think he said that if you paint over them or something, then the parking sensors will think that there's something there the whole time, when it's just obviously the paint. So I need to swap them out. I've got my ones there. And the headlight. So how ridiculous is this, guys? So this is obviously the rear headlight that fits there, if I can do that right. But it's been cracked. So in the initial impact, it was cracked. It still works absolutely fine, but you have this plastic cover that fits to the headlight. And unfortunately, it's missing a few of the main brace points, the main mounting points. It's completely snapped just there. And unfortunately, you can see this. It will fit. You you know, it's kind of like this one here. You can see the whole plastic panel. Now, if I were to sell this, I wouldn't be happy, personally, receiving a car that's got a massive crack in the headlight that fits over there. So I've had to buy a new one, well, a second-hand new one. And so I need to try and fit that. And then I need to try and fit the rear bumper. I need to install the parking sensors, and then I've got quite a few bits of trim that I need to put on. I've got the arch liner for the wheel. I need to put on a few little bits of seal trim for this panel, and then I've got a few things to sort out in the engine bay, so like trim bits and a few things like that. Now, when I gave the car, I drove it to the place where it was being fixed, as I had an active MOT and it was serviced. Sorry, it was insured and everything. Now, unfortunately, when I've got it back, yeah, I can get the engine to start, but the hybrid system, there's a bunch of faults on the car. I'm trying to figure out a way of sorting that out. It's proven to be a little bit more tricky, because the car's hybrid system will start, but I get a load of errors pop up immediately. I can't move the car into drive or reverse or anything. And another real issue is I can't access the OBD port to read the car codes because there's no power. And I've been round and I've checked all the fuses in here and in the driver as well, but no luck so far. So that's for another day. But for today, just trying to get the car put back together, try and get all the trim bits on, and I'll film most of it. There's a few bits I won't film because it's probably going to be a little bit boring. But yeah, so that's the rundown. So could be worse, but could be better. But you know, at least it's back, so that's the main thing. So yeah. So the first thing on the list is the rear bumper. Now it's all pretty much there. It's just trying to install the rear parking sensors. It's a pretty easy job, just trying to attach the wire loom to all the clips and then trying to figure out which way they need to go in. One of the main areas that you really need to be careful of is that the parking sensor adhesive is still good, so it all does fit together properly. That can be an issue if that has gone and will need to be replaced. Next step was to do the arch lining, obviously removing the wheel. It's pretty easy, but no fancy tools for me, just good old cranking it by the arm. So it's pretty simple. The only problem with this one is I took it off about a year ago, so trying to figure out which ones are clips, which ones are screws, where all the screws are was a little bit tricky, but we got there in the end. Just a dirty job to get done. And then finally was the rear bumper. So this was quite an easy one as well. There's only a couple of screws that need to be attached to this. The biggest part was just trying to get all the clips in. There's only, I think there's 6 screws in this, 2 that you can visibly see there. There's 2 in the arch wells, and then there's clips that go underneath that clip into the rear quarter panels. So there's a bunch of little clips as well that you can see there that you have to hit in, and that's the main thing that's going to be holding it in place. There we go. Bumper on. Huzzah. With parking sensors. Okay, so I think I'm going to call it there for this episode. Obviously wanted to cover why it took me so long to get the car back, but it's finally back. And then also just to kind of tidy a few things up, let everyone know where the car is. I'll probably do a separate video for all the electrical faults and stuff. I'm hoping to try and have some help with that. Got a chap coming later this week, so maybe I'll film some of that, I don't know, depending on how confident I am. But yeah, so I managed to sort out most of the front bay up. There was some stuff on the bonnet, but it's not that exciting, so I didn't film it. I managed to get the arch lining in, so that's really, really good. So that's all done. Took the wheel off and everything, that's all done now. There's a little bit of trim that's supposed to go here. So it's like a seal between the wing and the door. And I have no idea how you're going to do that. I'm just going to get Lexus to do that. Because I tried taking the wing off, and then you can only do it once the wings on, and I don't know. Anyway, and then obviously the rear bumper. So the rear bumper's looking really good in my opinion. You know, fitment's looking very good. Probably some like minor corrections that could be done. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with that. Car's looking good. So yeah, and then next time I've just got a few more bits of trim to put on. Still got all my rubbish in the garage. Need to try and clear that out. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Now you know why I've been struggling to get the car back for so long. But yeah, but if you do enjoy it, I'm going to do probably a few more videos just to wrap it all up. But it's a little bit different, more of an amateur take of someone with no idea what they're doing, just walking along trying to sort it all out and get it sorted. So yeah, if you do like it, do obviously like and subscribe. It means the world to me. I'm obviously a very small channel, so if you subscribe, you'll increase my subscriber base significantly. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and speak to you all next time.
We're driving downtown, full push on the pedal. Move to songs we play together. Feel like we're on holiday. I got a feeling it's a good day.